Imagine it's a Friday night, 10 minutes before closing time at a small rural bank in Pennsylvania. The employees are preparing to shut down for the weekend, unaware that in a few moments, everything will change. A man in a tight-fitting mask and dark clothing walks into the bank, his movements swift and precise. His presence is enough to send a chill through the room. In just 2 minutes, he'll vanish with thousands of dollars and leave no trace behind. This isn't the first time this has happened, and it won't be the last. Welcome to the world of Carl Gugan, the infamous Friday night robber. Before we dive deeper into this incredible story, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. You don't want to miss more gripping true crime stories like this one. Carl Gugan wasn't born a criminal. Born in Pennsylvania in 1947, he had an ordinary childhood. But at the age of 15, everything changed when he tried to rob a candy store. The store owner shot him, and Carl was sent to a youth facility. This experience shaped his view of the world, embedding a deep sense of injustice that would steer him toward a life of crime. He believed that his criminal history would follow him forever, preventing him from leading an ordinary life. This mindset fueled his decision to become a criminal mastermind. Despite his troubled past, Carl pursued an education, enrolling at Villanova University, where he studied electrical engineering. He even joined the military, where he received special training in weapons and tactics. But Carl was not content with a simple life. While working on his studies, he began to research robberies, poring over books, maps, and even studying mock heists. His fascination with the perfect robbery grew, and soon, he was plotting his own. In 1973, Carl made his first attempt at a bank robbery in North Carolina. He was unprepared and had to flee using a stolen getaway car. It was a failure, but it taught him valuable lessons: careful planning, precise timing, and avoiding unnecessary risks. This failure set the stage for his future successes. Carl's next steps were methodical. He spent months planning each robbery in detail, studying maps, topography, and the banks he would target. He carefully selected banks that were located in rural areas, near forests, where he could easily escape into the woods and vanish without a trace. He would plan his robberies during the fall and winter months, when daylight was shorter and the cover of darkness was in his favor. Carl's robberies were meticulously planned. He would observe the bank's routines for days, learning the staff's movements, when they arrived and when they left. On the night of the robbery, he would enter the bank just before closing time, dressed in dark clothing and a Freddy Krueger mask. His method was swift. In less than 2 minutes, Carl would be in and out, taking the money and disappearing into the night. His getaway was always well planned, using nearby woods to cover his tracks. He knew exactly when and where to vanish. Carl's bank robberies were quick, efficient, and terrifying. He would enter, wave a gun around, and tell everyone to look away. With his athleticism and precision, Carl would leap over the counter and grab the cash, leaving in a matter of seconds. The employees were left terrified, unable to identify him, as his disguise was flawless. Carl's swift operations became his trademark. The Friday night robber struck and vanished, all before anyone could react. Despite his success, Carl wasn't completely immune to mistakes. In 1991, during a robbery in Pennsylvania, Carl shot a bank manager after a sudden movement. The manager survived, but this event marked the first time Carl had used violence during a robbery, an exception, not the rule. For over 3 decades, Carl Gugan continued his streak of perfect crimes. Over 50 banks, $2 million stolen, and yet, no one could catch him. He became a legend, a shadowy figure that law enforcement couldn't pin down. The authorities were stumped. No accurate descriptions, no clear evidence, and no way to track his escape routes. His robberies remained cold cases for years. But in 2001, Carl's luck ran out. 2 young boys, while playing in the woods of Radnor, Pennsylvania, stumbled upon a strange sealed PVC pipe. Inside, they found documents and instructions on cleaning a gun. This discovery led authorities to a hidden bunker where they found guns, masks, maps, and more than 160 detailed bank robberies. As police searched the bunker, they found clues that led them to Carl Gugan, a black belt in karate, a man with a history of avoiding capture. Through these unexpected discoveries, Carl's carefully constructed criminal world began to unravel. On February 7, 2002, Carl Gugan was arrested at the Philadelphia Free Library, a place he frequented while researching his next robbery. His fingerprints matched those found in the bunker. When arrested, Carl was initially stunned and refused to talk. But after some time, he admitted to his crimes. What shocked everyone was the revelation that those closest to Carl had no idea about his double life. His family, friends, and colleagues had no idea that this mild-mannered man was behind the notorious Friday night robberies. Carl's arrest sent shockwaves through his community. Carl's trial was intense. He stood before the judge, guilty of numerous robberies. But something unexpected happened. After meeting with his victims, Carl changed his plea to guilty, realizing the trauma he had caused. During the trial, Carl confronted the victims he had traumatized. One of the bank managers, Don Bressler, remarked, "Carl, the last time we met, you were hiding behind a mask and pointing a gun at me. How nice to meet you." Freddy Krueger. Carl was sentenced to 17 years in prison, a reduced sentence due to his cooperation with the authorities. In prison, he didn't just serve time. He became a mentor. Carl shared his knowledge with law enforcement and even taught calculus to fellow inmates. After serving his sentence, Carl was released in 2017 at the age of 69, determined to rebuild his life. But as he stepped into a new chapter, Carl Gugan, the notorious Friday night robber, faced the challenge of making amends for his dark past. Carl's story is a reminder that sometimes the most meticulous criminals can find redemption, but the path to redemption is never easy. What do you think? Is there a place for forgiveness in a life of crime? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Share this video with your friends, and make sure you turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our gripping true crime stories.